Hey, what's going on, everybody? I've got something a little bit special for you today. I've gone ahead and picked up a AIY Vision Kit. So this kit is essentially a computer vision platform created by Google that leverages the Raspberry Pi Zero W. So just flipping this box over here in the back, we can see the description here, and it allows you to add object recognition and facial emotion detection to your Raspberry Pi based projects. So this is done by using a camera and on-device neural network acceleration with the Vision bonnet. So that's that little chipset or PCB that sits on top of the Raspberry Pi Zero W. And what's really interesting, it says that no internet connection is required. So if that is the case, that is pretty massive. That's awesome. So before we go ahead and get started, I just want to talk about what I will be doing, because this is sort of a new experience for me as well. I'm going to essentially do an unboxing and go through the process of setting it up, and I'm going to try and get the object recognition working. So that's pretty much what this tutorial or guide will cover. So there are a few things you'll need to follow along with this. First of all, you're going to have to pick up one of these kits. I'm based in the US, so if you're trying to get your hands on one, I got mine from Micro Center. If you're international, you're going to have to do some Googling and searching around to see where you can source one of these. I'm not really sure if there's international suppliers, but you can definitely do research yourself. So aside from the Vision Kit, you're also going to need a micro SD card, a Raspberry Pi camera version 2, and a Zero W. So that's what's listed on the box. These are the bare essentials that you'll need. I'm not really sure, but you're definitely gonna need a power supply, and I've gone ahead and picked up a micro USB to USB cable and a HDMI or micro HDMI to HDMI adapter, just in case I need to hook the Pi Zero W up to the computer and set up the operating system, because I'm not 100% sure if this runs on Raspbian or a custom operating system, but I'm sure we'll figure that out as we progress through the tutorial. So as always, I'll list the parts and components in the description and on my website, so if you want to get some of these things, you'll know where to find them. So now let's talk about the cost of the kit. So the AIY Vision Kit, the micro SD card, the camera, as well as the Zero W, I all got from Micro Center, and it ran me about $91.98. This is from the receipt that I'm looking at. So you're also going to need a power supply and maybe some of those cables. So I think in total this should run you about $100, which is pretty good for a computer vision platform, all things considered. Like, I haven't tested it and I don't know how well it works, but in my experience, getting into the computer vision game usually, or in the past, required a little bit more things from a financial perspective. So that'll give you a gauge on how much you need to throw down to get all the components. So with all that said, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. Oh, and I also forgot to note something that's sort of parts related. So normally when you get the Raspberry Pi Zero W, it doesn't come with the headers pre-installed. So I just went to the online setup guide for the AIY Vision Kit from Google, and they just stated that you need to make sure that you have the headers installed on your Raspberry Pi Zero W. So if you don't, you're gonna have to go pick up a set of headers like so and solder them to your Raspberry Pi Zero W. So that may add a little bit of time. You know, you may have to source these, and also it takes additional time to actually solder them on. I believe Adafruit sells Zero Ws with the headers pre-installed, but you're gonna have to go ahead and research that on your own. I just wanted to make that note because without the headers, you won't be able to continue with the setup. Okay, now I'm doing my favorite thing in the world, which is soldering. I'm gonna solder the headers to the Pi Zero W. Here we go. So now the headers are soldered, we can continue. Okay, so I'm gonna open this box here. Pretty minimalist packaging. The sleeve just sort of slides off. Make sure I get that on the front in the frame. I just cut this piece of tape here. There's a piece of tape or whatever on the bottom. Now that that's released, we should be able to open it. We're presented with this piece of paper. So just some safety information and, you know, some info on where to get the instructions. I think it's based online. It's pointing me to this URL, AIYprojects.withgoogle.com/vision. So we'll probably get to that in a bit. Let's sort of crack this open. Here is a cardboard shroud, and it's showing all the different components. So there's a camera cable, the vision bonnet, some hardware, push button. I don't know what this is. Some sort of, oh, it's a lens. Piezo speaker, privacy LED, button harness. I think that's about it, really. Oh, and there, I guess this is the housing too. So, sorry, I don't know if I was covering that, but I've just sort of inverted this box so you can get a better view of the components here. I'm going through the tutorial that's provided by Google Online, and this next step is to get the micro SD image installed to our micro SD card. So I'm gonna head over to the computer and do that real quick. Okay, so I'm on the computer and I've pulled up the online tutorial provided by Google, and we're on step 1 currently. So I'm downloading the SD image and also downloading this imaging software called Etcher.io. This is the site it brings you to. This is what it looks like. You just download this for whatever operating system you have. Once the SD image is done, we're gonna load that and point that to the micro SD card, and it should write the operating system on there. So I'll get back to this right when this finishes. Okay, so my 2 downloads have finished. I've already gone ahead and installed Etcher, the program, and the image comes compressed, so you're gonna have to unpack it. So I've already gone ahead and done that. Now you're gonna go ahead and open Etcher. So this is what should pop up, and we're gonna select the image. So in this case, I'm going to navigate to the image file. So I've selected that, and then I need to just gonna double check to make sure it's the right device. And that looks pretty good, and then we're just gonna hit flash. Okay, so our image was flashed onto the SD card successfully, so now we can head back to the bench and work on physical assembly. Okay, now that we have our nearly flashed micro SD card with us, I'm going to go ahead and take our Raspberry Pi Zero W and go ahead and insert the SD card in here just so we don't lose it. So that's good to go. Now the next step, according to the directions, we need to set up the standoffs. So I believe that's in this little hardware baggie. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this hardware bag and get the two standoffs. Okay, so I'm going to crack this bag open here. I'm just going to use this extra cardboard space that's off screen here on the right just to hold all the parts. Oh man. So these are the contents that were in the hardware bag. So I'm going to take these two standoffs and place them on the opposing side of the headers. So they should just snap right in. So there's one. Take the other one, snap it in there. Yeah. And now we need to take our vision bonnet, which is here, unpack this, oh man. Remove the connection header. So we gotta remove the black cap from the connection header. What? I'm not seeing one. I believe so. In step 2, the second step of step 2 states that we need to remove the black cap from this button connector header, but mine didn't come with a cap, so it's just throwing me off a little bit. We're gonna have to release, I believe this is this the camera? Lever on the vision bonnet board. So flip it over and there should be a lever of some sort. Okay, I think it's better. So I believe what we're doing now is gonna attach this cable that bridges across these two interfaces. I'm just trying to double check and make sure. Okay, yeah, so it's definitely on the right side opposing the SD card, and the left side of the female header. You want to sort of get them ready for the ribbon cable. I believe that's what it's instructing me to do. Okay, back to our little cardboard plate here. I believe this is the cable that we need here. It's a really short one. Alright, finally, got it. Oh my goodness. I think I just broke it. Crisis averted. Definitely be delicate, because it actually states on the online tutorial that you can actually break this little black piece, which I did. It's a little bit tricky. You know, just take your time and sort of work through this. Hopefully this is the correct orientation. The ribbon cable they're using is actually a different color. So thanks Google for that. Now that that's done, we can sandwich the two together. So it's just a matter of bending it over and lining up the pins. And I guess we just squish them together. Probably a good idea to line up the standoffs as well. Now, that's seated, we want to get this to snap in place. I don't want to break it like I broke the other thing. Push gently, forcing the standoffs in place may cause them to break. Yeah, it's actually requiring quite a bit of force. I'm a little bit worried. That's good. Yeah, I'm not gonna chance that. I think we're all right. Wow, that's really. Yeah, a little bit. Experienced a bit of some quality control issues, it seems like. For now, I'm just going to keep that in place. If it becomes an issue, we'll readdress it, but I really don't want to apply too much pressure there. We're just going to move ahead and get to step 11. And that requires us to get the 50 mil ribbon cable. There's only one, so I'm assuming it's this. So kind of like snake it through these holes here. It is labeled the button harness. And there's something here, some QR code. Not really concerned with that. So this goes on here, like so. So there's a row of 5 pins. Are they is it symmetrical? Okay, now. Yeah, it looks like it is symmetrical. It's just one side's inverted, so I don't think it really matters which orientation it is, but don't quote me on that. Oh, that's a good indicator. So the colored red part of this cable is on the left side, so I'm just going to follow that. So it looks like this piece that goes up here. Should be able to push down. Yep, doesn't require too much force, so that's done. Stepping through. Okay, now we get to play with the little camera and the cardboard. So I'm gonna go ahead and whip out our camera here. So open that bad boy up. Set this box aside. Reveal our camera. Okay, so we gotta replace this default cable with this custom ribbon cable. So I'm gonna go ahead and gently shimmy this out. Okay, so setting this ribbon cable aside, pulling this through. Okay, so gold tips facing down, camera facing down as well. Sliding that in and then just seating it appropriately. Don't want to put too much force, but also want to secure it at the same time. So that's good. Alright, that looks good. So now we're gonna look at these cardboard pieces here and I guess put two and two together. Looks to be one cohesive piece according to the online diagram. We'll see about that. Oh, no, there's actually two pieces. So this weird looking, I don't know, like almost looks like a face, like a clown. I don't know if you can see that. The clown cutout, that's what we're gonna call it. So this goes right on the clown's forehead. And yeah, it looks about right. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this lens cover. Okay. Oh, apparently it needs to be seated all the way down, so we're gonna shift this down like so. So now that it should look like this. Okay. Then we're gonna bend this piece over. And oh, so these tabs have to line up with these holes here because we're going to fold them over and secure the camera in place. I believe that's what the, oh man. Yeah, you might want to be careful about this. You don't want to damage this cardboard. You only get one shot. And yeah, that's pretty much it from there. At this point, you'll need to hold them together for a few more steps. So we have to hold this together. That's great. Turn it over like so, and we need to get our piezo buzzer. So I'm wiring that, I'm pulling that through. And now, this looks nothing like... Did I mess up? I think we forgot a step. Where's that hole? One second, guys. Cardboard hole, camera aperture. So this actually looks different. Oh, is it that hole? Hold on. Okay, so I guess there's a... In hindsight, gotta open this up and then pop this little tab back. Like so. Okay. And then we're gonna hold this in place like before. And now it's gonna go to an angle. Okay, piezo set. Sort of. There's some double-sided tape on the back, but I don't know where. Is it? Press it into the cardboard hole. The buzzer should fit snug in the cardboard. I'm just gonna tape it down. I don't know where it goes. Putting this through. Okay, so this is taped down. Now we gotta attach the ribbon cable to the bonnet. So we're gonna slide this black piece back, attach the ribbon cable. In theory, it should be really simple, but you know how that goes. Does it slide back or go up? So now I'm sliding the cable into... Oh, that, okay. That felt like progress. Okay, I need to somehow get this to go up and secure the cable. Alright, I'm calling that good. So now that that's done, what? Oh, okay. So back to our weird clown thingy. There's a perforation here. It should bend, and it's resisting corroboration. Oh, so we've had it backwards here. So we're gonna move it like so. I don't even know what or where it's supposed to go, but it's going. I don't know what to do about that little tab. It's kind of blocking. something, the cable, okay, so it's supposed to be routed. What? This is really perplexing. Okay, all I know from the picture is that the headers should line up with this. There we go. That's it? Gently fold the cable toward the board, otherwise it won't fit in the cardboard box later on. Okay, so we're gonna need to do some cable management here. And sort of just like keep it neat. Oh, but it's slipped. Wow, this is like, I've never, electronics, cardboard, tape, ribbon cable, what is going on here? Okay. That's alright, that's good. Cardboard has also 2 feet under the board. Fold these downward. What does that even mean? Oh, I see. Gotcha. So the ends have to be folded down. This thing does not want to stay in place. Okay. What? Now we take the other piece of the cardboard and we shove this thing in and hopefully it stays. Wait a minute, where'd the privacy LED go? Did we skip a step? No, we did not. Okay, so put it in the box, dude. So I'm looking for that weird hole. So it should go like so into the, okay, you can't even see that. Let me switch hands. It should slide in like this. All right, we're actually making some legitimate progress here. I actually got the camera to come to the little peephole, and then it's really jam-packed in there, and the cables are routed. Our crude tape job's holding up. I think the ribbon cables look good, and also more importantly, our input and power ports are accessible, so that's good. 14th nut. And do what now? Okay, so now we're gonna sort of screw the bottom down, I think. Yep. Okay. So we bend these two ends over. And then shove it down. Oh, that's cool. Now that the bottom's all done and it looks to be held in place, we're going to flip it upright. And now we're going to put in the privacy LED and the LED bezel. So that's that little black bezel piece here, and I'm shoving it into the hole. Oh man. Alright, so that's in. Now, from the inside of the box, take the privacy LED and insert it into LED bezel. It should snap into place. I hope it doesn't snap in half. Okay, taking this, and it's a tight fit, so just keep that in mind. I don't know, I'm probably gonna need some tools. Yeah, this is outrageous. Alright, so I got the privacy LED secured into the bezel. So a useful tip is to sort of line it up and take a very small screwdriver and sort of push it from the back, and it should snap into place. Because it's a very tight fit. I don't know if you can fit your finger in there. Definitely not my big sausage fingers. So now moving on, we need to grab the arcade button, which is this, and we are just going to insert it right from the top, this hole. Oh, be useful for me to read the directions. So looks like there's some sort of screwing mechanism, so I'm going to unscrew this first. Like so. Put it through the hole, and then attach this screw to secure it in place to the cardboard frame. Okay. So we're gonna get the privacy LED. I'm gonna sort of reposition this so it's easier to wire up. So we're gonna get the piezo and plug that cable into the piezo port. Like so. That's on the far left. Should snap right in place, and then we're going to get our privacy LED and attach it to the LED connector. It's labeled, it's on the right side of the piezo, and it should do the same thing.
Okay, maybe it's the other way around. Difficult for me to tell.
Yep. If it requires too much force, it's probably the wrong way. Okay, now that's done. And finally, we need to attach this 50mm ribbon cable to the only available port that's left. And that's it. I think that's it. Just kind of button her up a little bit. Oh, now my tape job has come back to bite me, so I'm gonna go and cut that. Making sure I'm very careful not to cut any electrical connections. Oh man. Just gonna tear it some, just to give that button some room. We're almost home free. Come on. Yeah. All right. There it is. Wait, what? Oh, now we need to mount washer. So the final step is we're going to take this little ring and put it around so that this macro sensor can just magnetically seat itself. There's some double-sided tape here. They give you two. There's one with like a half crescent thing on the end, but I'm going to use a full circle because that's what it looks like it uses in the instruction guide. I'm just gonna take this out of frame for a sec to line it up real quick, and I'll be right back. And that's what it looks like with the ring installed, so I'm just gonna mock this up real quick. So you take that off, and I believe it just magnetically seats like that. There's a lens cover right now, but I'm just showing you. And then then the whole thing comes off because the adhesive's not strong enough. Okay, we're just gonna leave that be and not mess with it. And put the cover back onto the macro lens. And that completes physical assembly.
So now that the AIY Vision Kit is all set up and plugged in, we are currently running the default demo that detects emotions. I'm going to test it against 3 pictures, all with differing emotions. One will have a neutral face, one will have a sad face, and one will have a happy face. So let's go ahead and test the neutral face and see what happens. So face emotion test 1, neutral Obama. We're bringing up the AIY Vision Kit. We can see that there was a slight change in color. The blue light lightened up a little bit, but nothing, no serious color change. Emotion test 2, sad face. Let's see how the Vision Kit responds. No change at all, as to be expected. And our third and final face, happy Obama face. So let's see how the AIY Vision Kit does with this one. As you can see, it immediately detected it and it changed to a yellowish color, and there was a beep, so I'm going to move it off frame and it turns blue. And it detects his smile and there's a notable beep. So there you go, guys. That's the out of the box demo for you. Obviously it works on your own face. If you look at the camera, frown and smile, you should see the change in color and the beeps, but that's pretty much all it does. So let's go ahead and try 2 of the other examples provided. They require a little bit more setup, so we're gonna have to head over to the computer and run them. I'm gonna run through the 2 other demos provided on the AIY Vision Kit. I've VNC'd to my Raspberry Pi here, hence the sort of sluggish response. So I've pulled up the instructions online, and the first thing we need to do is disable the default demo that's running. So if you want to permanently do this, they have the instructions listed here how to stop the joy detection demo, but I'm just going to stop it temporarily. So the first thing you need to do is open a new terminal. So I wouldn't recommend opening this dev terminal that's provided, because when you take a look at it, it says voice kit, so the environment is enabled for the voice kit, and that's not what we want. So it's a better idea to open a fresh new terminal by clicking this button up here. I've already done that, as you can see. So the first thing I need to do is kill the demo. So what I'm going to type is sudo kill all Python. This just kills all running Python processes. So right after you do that, you should notice that your Vision Kit light turns off. That's a good sign. That means the demo is now stopped, and we can enable the Vision environment, dev environment. So looking at the instructions here, there's this command source, blah 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 bin activate. So you want to copy this and paste it. and then hit enter. So you can see this environment variable is activated, so that's a good sign. Just clear the screen here. So now we gotta navigate to the examples folder for Vision. So we're gonna navigate to this directory. So I'm just gonna copy this. Type cd, paste. Let me see if I can paste this. There we go. Alright, we're gonna do this manually because I don't know where it is. So cd AIY projects Python source cd vision. Alright. So type in ls and see what we have here. So we can see all these face detection camera, and object detection pi. I've added these for JPEG files, which we will get to later. So the first example we're going to run is the face detection camera.py. So if we look on the instructions here, this is sort of what we have to type in, the parameters we have to pass in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, my bad. I have a typo here. It should be num_frames equals 5. That's the correct syntax. So hit enter, look at the camera. It may take a second. And there you go. It gives you each frame, and if it detected a face. So what you're seeing here is the first iteration, it detected one face, and then it just kept doing that. So you can define the number of times it runs here, and it's just tuned to detect facial features. So that's pretty much the first. The second demo that they've provided. So we're gonna go ahead and test the face detection.py, and this one's a little bit different in the sense that we're gonna feed it a still image, and it should tell us either if it's I'm sorry. So now we're gonna go run the object detector, and this one is where we feed it a still image, and it will either tell us if there's a person, cat, or a dog in the image. So you can look right here, 2.2. This is a syntax here, so we're going to do Python object detection, pass the input, and then give it a, so the input is just the file, image file, and the output specifies the directory for output, because if it does find one of these objects, it will create this red bounding box. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to type I'm going to do pwd to get this is print working directory. This is to get the working directory, which we'll need later. So go ahead and copy that. Now we need to type Python object underscore detection dot py dash dash input. I'm gonna go ahead and do cat we don't need to specify the path here because it's already in the same directory. I'll go ahead and show you what this cat looks like before we run it. So here's an image of the cat that we're going to be using. And then, so we define input. And now we need to do output. Put equals. So you want to specify the directory and then add a slash, and then give a name for the result file. So I'm just going to name it result.jpg, and we should hit enter. And what we should see here is the name of the file and the type of object it detected and the percent certainty it has, as well as it should output a result as well if it's a positive result. So let's go ahead and hit enter here. Give it a second. So as you can see, object 0 kind cat, so it recognized the cat, and it gave a score of 94, almost like 95%. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that result JPEG that we specified. So this is our output. As you can see, it drew this bounding box around the cat it detected. So we can go ahead and do that for the two other objects it's tuned to detect. So it's tuned to detect a dog and a person. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing with dog. Oh man, and hit enter. So we gotta give it a second. And there you go, it shows, I should probably show you the picture of the dog. So this is the picture of the dog. It detected it with a 70% certainty, and if we check the result, this is what it shows us. Here's the bounding box. So yeah, those are pretty much the two other examples provided. If we look at the documentation, there's actually a little bit more that we can do. I'm not going to cover it in this guide because it's a little bit more in depth, but this should give you a good primer on sort of how to use the Vision Kit and what it can do out of the box. So there's this image classifier. I think this is pretty much the same thing as object detector, but if we scroll down some, we can see here they provide the example code for that, and the initial demo they have running out of the box. And then this is the real meat and potatoes of the platform, I think, is the TensorFlow integration. So this is, I believe this is where you offload the processing to that TensorFlow service to sort of train it for specific objects or whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much a rundown of the AIY Vision Kit with the Raspberry Pi. I hope you enjoyed everything in today's video, and I hope it was useful for you if you're thinking about getting one of these Vision Kits. Definitely, look through the tips and tricks I've sort of posted on my website if you plan to set it up It'll save you a lot of headache. And yeah, stay tuned for upcoming content, guys. Peace.